Welcome to another episode of Active Training with Ryan. In these instructional videos, I'm going to show you how to enhance your instruction using ActivInspire. This video is about understanding order. Now, in the previous video, we talked about layering with objects on the board. When you put an object onto the board, the very first time we call it layer 1. When you put a second object onto the board, it's called layer 2. When you put a third object onto the board, it's called layer 3. Now I've got 3 objects on the board here: a cupcake, a bear, and a car. Which one of these is layer 1? That's right, it's the cupcake. So which one of these is layer 2? That's right, it's the bear. So which one of these is layer 3? And it's going to be the car. Now if I add a new object to the board, it's going to go on top of the pile. So if I click on my rectangle, which is a shape, I click on my rectangle, I draw my shape, it goes on top of the pile here. No matter where I move these objects, again, they'll stay on their pile. Now let's say, though, I want to change the order of an object. So the last object to put onto the screen here was the car. But I want to move the car from layer 3 to layer 1. So to change the layers of an object, we're going to open up a new window. We're looking for the window called the Object Browser, and this can be found up here in your toolbar. Come up to your toolbar, up to View, and from View, select the tab that says Browsers. A new window will now appear on the side of your screen. When you see the window open, you'll see icons on the very top of the browser up here. Click on the third icon. This window is known as the Object Browser. This window will tell us what objects are on layer 1, 2, and 3. As you can see here in the Object Browser, there are 3 objects stacked on top of each other. So I'm going to click on the object that I think is layer 1, which is the cupcake. When I click on the cupcake, the very bottom object in the layer lights up. When I click on the bear, layer 2 lights up. So when I click on the car, which is layer 3, the third object lights up. So let's say I want to move the car now from layer 3 to the bottom of the pile. So to move your objects from one layer to another, you click on the object you want to move, it lights up where it is in the Object Browser, and then you just click and hold, and you drag the object to the layer that you want. Now as I'm clicking and holding here, you'll notice that layer 3 was lighting up, but there's a black line to the layer that I'm moving it to. So when I let go, you'll notice now the car is layer 1, the cupcake is layer 2, and the car is layer 3. So if I want to change the layer, let's say I want to move the car back to layer 1, I click on it with the Select tool. You see how layer 1 now is lighting up, and I'm going to drag it to the top of the pile. Be sure to watch for that black bar that shows you where it's going to land. When I let go, the car is now again layer 3. Or I can move it to layer 2. I click on the car, the object lights up, and I'm going to move it to the middle layer here. Now it's layer 2. So when I go to move the object now, the cool part is it stays in layer 2. Now let's look at these shapes that we saw earlier. Lego 1, Lego 2, Lego 3. We all said in the previous video that the red Lego is layer 1, so when I click on it, it lights up over here, layer 1. So when I click on the black Lego, layer 2 lights up. when I click on the third layer, layer 3 lights up. Again, I'm going to move the black or the blue Lego, which is layer 3, to the layer 1 by just clicking and holding and dragging it down. You'll see that black line that's flying around. That black line will tell you again where the object is going to land. And I'm going to let go. So now, my blue Lego is layer 1. So let's look at this as a presentation now. I've got on my screen questions that I wrote. Some of them are true and some of them are false. I want you to see if you can figure out the answer. Nevada is the 7th largest state. True or false? Now I need presentations in my classroom where students can self-check their answers. So when they slide this over, it goes on top of the shape. Nevada is the 36th state. True or false? When I slide it over, it reveals this is also a true answer. Nevada is officially known as the superstate. True or false? When I slide it over using the select tool, you'll notice it goes behind the shape, indicating this is an incorrect answer. Nevada is also called the sagebrush state. When I slide it over, take your guess, is it true or false? When I slide it over, it's revealed that it is a true answer. Next one, Nevada's capital is Las Vegas. Make your prediction. When I slide it over, you'll notice it goes behind the shape. So what I've done is I typed up all my answers here, and then I clicked on all the answers that are true and move them to the top of the pile. Now here's one a first grader student created. 6 subtract 2 equals 4. Is that true or false? When I slide it over, it's revealed that's true. Next one, 12 equals adding 6 and 7 together. Is that true or false? That expression is false. Now this is what a 5th grade student did using the same presentation. Penguins open their feathers to feel the cold. True or false? When I slide it over, it's a true answer. Penguins do open their feathers to feel the cold. There are at least 18 different species of penguins. True or false? When I slide it over again, do you notice how it shows me the correct answer? Penguins live in the northern hemisphere. That's a false answer. Penguins hunt for fish, squid, or shrimp like krill. And then the answer is true. Penguins can fly and swim. Then the answer is false. Now I use these as templates with my students. Now this is an example of what a 6th grader did. But this 6th grader got pretty creative because he ended up informing us that on the template, 1, 2, and 4 were always true, and 3 and 5 were always false. But this 6th grader, who was pretty clever, he reminded us of the rules. He says, objects on layer 1 stay on layer 1. Objects on layer 2 stay on layer 2. Objects on layer 3, they stay on layer 3. So he clicks on the object. Using the marquee, he takes the answers that's false, and he just moves it to the top of the screen. The answer here that's true, he just shuffled this down and put it down below. So now he changed the order of where the objects are on the page. So now I have a new presentation where objects are true and false, and the students don't know the order of them. Now this is an example of what a 6th grader did. One comment I would tell to the student, though, as a presentation design, he did put all of his words in capitalization. This is a comment I'd have for him saying, it's easier to read when your letters are in lowercase. So let's go ahead and create one together. What I'd like you to do is on your screen, using your text tool, I want you to type in 3 sentences about yourself that are true and 3 sentences that are yourself that are false. Pause this video until you're done. Now on my screen here, I've typed in 3 sentences about myself that are true and 3 sentences that are false. Now I'm going to click on my Shape tool, and I'm going to choose Rectangle, and I'm going to choose a fill color that is green, and I'm going to choose a border color that's black, and I'm going to draw a rectangle that's going to take up half of the page. Now the first thing that I put onto these pages were the text. The last thing to put on the page was the shape. So right now, if I move this over, you're going to notice the order. The shape is on the very top, so that makes everything false. So all I have to do is click on the answers that are true and move them to the top of the pile. Because you'll notice when I click on the Select tool and then select the shape lights up. So I'm going to choose my first one that is true. My favorite color is blue, which is true. So I click on the text here, and it lights up where it is in the pile. So I'm going to click and hold in the object browser and drag it so it's on top of the shape. So you see now that when I click on the text, it lights up that it's now the top of the pile, but it's on the shape, or on top of the shape. So when I move it over, it's going to go in front of the shape here. Right now, all the other answers are going to go underneath the shape because they're underneath the layer. So I'm going to click on my next shape here, or my next text. I drive a Jeep, yep, that's true. So I'm going to move it to the top of the pile. I have the cutest dog in the world, which is true, so I'm going to click on there. I'm also going to move its layer to the top of the pile. So now when I go to move these objects on the page, you'll notice they go on top of the shape. But I'm going to make this a little bit more fun for the students. I want them to try to figure it out. So I'm going to shovel them on the page, because remember, when you move objects on their layers, they stay on the layer that you put them. So I'm going to say, here's my two answers that are true and false. So my favorite color is blue is true. I have never used an ActivBoard. That's false. I have two brothers. That's also false. I have two sisters. I have the cutest dog in the world. Yep, that's true. My dad is a teacher. That's false. It's my mom. She's also a teacher. And I drive a Jeep. That's also true. So that's how you create a presentation using your layers. Now I'm going to move this box to the other side for just a moment. And again, I can play again. My favorite color is blue. I've never used an ActivBoard. I have two brothers. I have the cutest dog in the world. My dad is a teacher. And I drive a Jeep. If I move it over again, it shows me the answer. Another way is I can have the students at their seats calling out and making their predictions. And I slide the shape over and watch what the shape does. It reveals which one of these things are the true answers. So there's two different ways to use the presentation. Now on this one here, I want you to make a prediction of what is the hidden animal that's underneath the picture here. Now in this presentation, this is one a second grader created. It gives us the first clue. I have 4 legs. So what's in the desert that has 4 legs? I have a long tail to help keep me balanced. I'm a desert dweller, but also live near water. Clawed feet. I eat insects. I shed my skin. I'm a type of lizard. And here is the presentation here. Now when we want to recreate this presentation, the neat thing about this is that this is a template that you can find on my website. Once you download the template, you just double click where the text is, retype the words, put a new picture here, and then just make sure that this box is on the top of the pile. So I'm going to take this template and I'm going to change it for just a moment. So instead of having a picture there, that's the desert, I changed it to a clip art. Now the students have to guess what shape I am. Let's see if you can figure it out. I have a polygon, a quadrilateral. I only have one pair of parallel sides. I have have two acute angles, and I have two obtuse angles, and of course the answer is a trapezoid. Now I use this same presentation with all my students. So on this one, the students have to figure out what is the word on the word wall. Now my students don't always know the word on the word wall, so I'm going to slide it down. Now let's see if you can figure out the layering to this presentation. So layer 1 is the background, layer 2 is the text, layer 3 is the shape that slides, so this layer has to be layer 4 because it's on top. Let's see if you can also figure out what is the missing word. I have two syllables, I have two vowels, I have two letters that are the same, and I have 6 letters. Of course, I'm sure you figured out the word was little. Now here's another one for upper grade students. I'll give you a hint. It's a 3-digit number. The sum of the digits is less than 3. The product of the last 2 digits is less than 56. The sum of the first and last digit is less than 10. The sum of the first 2 digits is less than 7. The sum of the last 2 digits is less than 13. And the difference of the first 2 digits is equal to 0. When I reveal the answer of course was 110. Now this is one, same template, this is one a 5th grade student did. Now she integrated her lesson together. She was asked to do a science project, and she was asked to do a unit of poetry. She asked if she could do the two together. So here's the poem she wrote. I'm the planet that everyone calls red, but really my soil is rust color instead. Look up and you may spot me in the sky. I'm the orange colored dot way up high. And then when I reveal the answer, there's her answer, it was Mars. And here's what she wrote about it. Now the cool thing about here is that she also underlined her vocabulary words. My only recommendation to this student was, your text is way too small. You need to make this larger for the rest of us to be able to read. On a computer screen, it's the perfect size, but on a huge interactive whiteboard, it's actually very tiny and hard to see. Here's another 5th grade student. Now this 5th grade boy did What President Am I? Let's see if you can figure this out. I was born on April 27, 1822 in Point Pleasant, Ohio. I graduated from West Point Military Academy. I was arrested for riding my horse too fast and I was fined $20 for the incident. I was also a great Civil War general. I died of cancer on July 23, 1885. And here's the information. Now the neat thing about this presentation was not only are the students guessing about who the president was, this student included a picture and then also taught me something of interest. That's a pretty neat design there. So this presentation is on my website, and to change it, all you have to do is double click on the text here, retype your text, throw the shape away, throw the text away, click on your shape tool, click on a shape in a new color, and just instantly draw your new shape here. And when you move this down, I have this set for you, and it automatically goes underneath the layers here. And that's basically how ordering works.